Old Hollywood had the glitz, the glam, and enough skeletons in the closet to fill a studio lot. Secret babies, fake marriages, lovers hidden in plain sight. The stars weren't just acting on screen, they were covering up Oscar-worthy drama off it. Buckle up, grab the popcorn, and brace yourself. We're about to unearth the jaw-dropping family scandals that the Golden Age tried and failed to keep buried. Number 1. Loretta Young and Clark Gable, the baby they pretended was adopted in 1935. Clark Gable and Loretta Young made a movie and a baby. Only one of those got a press release. Loretta, a devout Catholic and America's wholesome sweetheart, got pregnant after a secret fling with the already married king of Hollywood. But in the 1930s, unwed motherhood was career suicide, especially if the father had ears as famous as Gable's. So she vanished, gave birth in secret, then staged an adoption of her own daughter, Judy. Yes, she adopted her own kid. Even Judy didn't know the truth growing up, but she had a mirror. The resemblance to Gable was undeniable. Still, whenever she asked her mom about it, Loretta acted like someone had just accused her of shoplifting in church. The truth finally dropped decades later in Judy Lewis's memoir, Uncommon Knowledge. She confronted Loretta, who eventually admitted it quietly, in old age like a scandalized grandmother, confessing she once drank a margarita. Gable. He never acknowledged Judy, not even a telegram. Hollywood helped bury the truth deep until it came back swinging with a book deal. Number 2, Charlie Chaplin, The Tramp, the Teen, and the Secret Mexico Marriage. Charlie Chaplin made millions laugh, but behind the bowler hat was a scandal straight out of a courtroom drama. In 1924, 35-year-old Chaplin got 16-year-old actress Lita Gray pregnant. Yep, 16. In California, that wasn't just frowned upon, it was illegal. So what did Charlie do? He packed his bags and married her in Mexico, quietly, desperately, with a side of panic. Rumor has it he even tried to pressure her into an illegal abortion, but Lita wasn't having it. She gave birth to 2 sons, and not shockingly, the marriage fell apart faster than a silent film reel in the sun. Chaplin was unfaithful, absent, and allegedly a creep. Then came the divorce, and oh boy. Lita's 50-page complaint read like a banned novella: perversion, humiliation, cruelty. The press lost its collective mind. The court ordered Chaplin to pay one of the biggest divorce settlements in Hollywood history at the time. Somehow his career survived. But the studios downplayed it all in official bios, preferring comic genius over man who married a minor in Mexico. Number 3. Raymond Burr. Raymond Burr had a tragic wife, a dying son, and the heart of America, or so Hollywood said. The truth, none of it existed. In the 1950s, Burr, the dashing face of Perry Mason, spun the ultimate tearjerker. A beautiful Scottish wife killed in a plane crash, and a son lost to leukemia. The press ate it up. It gave him a heroic, haunted edge. But plot twist, the wife, the kid, the tragedy, all fake. Burr cooked it up like a studio-approved soap opera to hide one thing: he was gay, in an era when that could kill your career faster than bad box office. Behind the scenes, he lived quietly with his partner Robert Benavides on a vineyard. They grew grapes. The press grew gullible. Even reporters who pressed him got hit with the classic "I don't discuss that" and backed off. Hollywood kept his phantom family on brand, while the real love of his life stayed in the shadows. It wasn't until after Burr's death in 1993 that his full secret life was revealed, not by scandal, but in a biography titled Hiding in Plain Sight. Which, let's be real, might as well have been his personal tagline. In classic Tinseltown fashion, Raymond Burr didn't just act, he rewrote reality. And the Academy, they didn't even nominate the performance. Number 4. Mary Astor. Before reality TV, there was Mary Astor's Diary, and honey, it had more plot twists than an entire season of The Real Housewives. In 1936, the doe-eyed darling of the silver screen got dragged into Hollywood's first full-blown sex scandal, not by paparazzi, but by her own ex-husband, Dr. Franklin Thorpe. During a vicious custody battle, the good doctor waved around Astor's private journal like it was a smoking gun. Inside steamy details of affairs with prominent men, one allegedly being playwright George S. Kaufman, described so vividly in purple ink that the press dubbed it the Purple Diary. The courtroom turned into a circus. Crowds lined up like it was a boxing match. Vendors even sold hot dogs outside. Studio execs sweated bullets. America clutched its pearls. But Mary, she walked in cool as a cucumber, owned up to her lovers, and calmly told the court, "Yes, I had passions. I also make great pancakes. What's your point?" Her lawyer had the explicit pages sealed and later burned like a Hollywood reboot that never aired. In the end, she won custody, kept her career, and walked away with her chin up. The Purple Diary scandal didn't just spill tea, it dumped the whole pot. And Mary Astor, she drank it with poise. Number 5, Patty Duke, Who's the Daddy? Hollywood's paternity puzzle. Patty Duke had an Oscar a baby on the way, and absolutely no idea who the father was. Welcome to Hollywood. In 1970, Patty, America's sweetheart turned tabloid tornado, gave birth to a baby boy named Sean. One problem: she had been romantically linked to, not one, not two, but 3 men in rapid succession. Was it Daisy Arnaz Jr., teen idol and son of Lucy, and Ricky John Aston, her secret lover turned husband? Or Michael? Tell the random guy she married for 13 days just to shut everyone up. Answer all of the above until DNA said otherwise. For years, Patty claimed John Aston was the father. Sean thought so too until Patty dropped a truth bomb in his teens. Oh honey, it might be Desi. Cue existential crisis. So Sean, now grown and understandably confused, took a DNA test with all 3 men. Plot twist: the winner. Michael Tell, the guy she barely knew and allegedly never even slept with. Somehow, against all odds, he was the dad. It was the ultimate Maury Povich moment before Maury even had a show. But to Sean's credit, he didn't hold a grudge. He kept close with all 3 men, choosing love over DNA. As for Patty, she was just trying to navigate a time when being pregnant and unwed in Hollywood could end a career. Number 6. Joan Crawford, Mommy Dearest or Hollywood's Wicked Witch. On screen, Joan Crawford was a powerhouse. Off-screen, according to her daughter Christina, she was a horror movie in shoulder pads. In 1978, Christina dropped the literary equivalent of a Molotov cocktail, Mommy Dearest. In it, she accused Joan of drunken rampages, beatings, mind games, and one now legendary meltdown over, wait for it, wire hangers. No, wire, hangers, ever, became a meme before memes existed. Crawford, the glamorous queen of MGM, had always flaunted her image as the perfect adoptive mother. But behind closed doors, Christina claimed it was more like a twisted episode of The Twilight Zone. Public spankings, ice-cold manipulation, hangers used as weapons. Joan's twin daughters denied it all. The public was split. Was Christina airing family laundry or exposing real trauma? Then came a second twist. 2 of Joan's adopted children were obtained through a notorious black market baby ring. Crawford might not have known, but still yikes. When Joan died, she left Christina and brother Christopher nothing in her will, not even a hanger. Number 7. Spencer Tracy, Hollywood's holy hypocrite. To fans, Spencer Tracy, was the ultimate Hollywood gentleman, Oscar-winning devout Catholic family man who also lived with Katharine Hepburn for 25 years. Wait, what? Yep. Tracy pulled off the ultimate double life. On paper, he was married to Louise and never divorced her because Catholic guilt. But in real life, he was shacking up with Hepburn like it was a long-running off-Broadway play called Denial. But the real heartbreak, his son John was born deaf. Spencer blamed himself, not genetics, not chance, but sin. Cue a lifelong guilt spiral powered by whiskey, self-loathing, and brooding in black and white. He helped open a center for hearing-impaired kids, which is great. Except he never fully embraced his own son's condition. Tracy channeled the pain into acting and drinking. Lots of drinking. Meanwhile, the press played along. Katharine was just a friend. Louise was the forgotten wife. And Tracy. The picture of moral conflict wrapped in a crisp suit. He died still married, still in love, still guilty, a man torn between his religion, his reputation, and his very real feelings. Number 8. Rock Hudson, the straightest gay man in Hollywood. In the 1950s, Rock Hudson was every woman's dream, tall, square-jawed, and oozing straight-up heterosexual charm. But behind the romantic leads and Doris Day kisses was a truth Hollywood locked in the closet with a padlock, and a prayer Rock was gay. It was Tinseltown's worst-kept secret, whispered at parties, ignored by the press, and managed with a level of spin that could power a wind farm. The studio even arranged a sham marriage to his agent's secretary, Phyllis Gates, just to kill the gossip. Spoiler, it didn't work. Behind closed doors, Rock threw legendary all-male pool parties. Think shirtless bronzed hunks, and not a single press camera in sight. On camera, he was chasing skirts like it was his job. Because, well, it was. Then came 1985. AIDS outed him before he could say a word. His diagnosis shocked the world not just because of the disease, but because Rock Hudson, gay America, had a collective fainting spell. His death became a cultural earthquake, smashing taboos, waking up Reagan-era denial, and exposing the studio system's hypocrisy. Number 9. Judy Garland, There's No Place Like Home. Especially when you're fleeing a scandal. Before she clicked her ruby heels in The Wizard of Oz, little Judy Garland was caught in a storm far darker than anything in Kansas. In the 1920s, Judy's father, Frank Gumm, was a small-town theater manager. With a scandalous secret, he had a reputation for being a little too friendly with young men. Whispers turned to full-blown rumors in Grand Rapids, Minnesota, and when Judy was just 4, the Gumm family vanished faster than a matinee curtain drop. Officially, they moved to California for opportunities. Unofficially, they ran like hell to escape scandal. Young Judy was told never to mention why they left town. The real-life horror show was swept under the MGM rug while the studio painted her as the all-American darling with a voice of gold and a heart of innocence. The irony. While America fell in love with Dorothy Gale, Judy was growing up in a house haunted by secrets, instability, and whispered shame. Her parents' toxic marriage and sudden uprooting left emotional scars she carried to her grave. She once said, "I wasn't properly born, I was defrosted." And after reading this, you might believe her. Number 10. Gloria Graham. From stepmom to wife. Yes, you read that right. Hollywood loves a forbidden romance, but Gloria Graham took it to incest-adjacent levels. In the early 50s, Gloria was married to director Nicholas Ray. Everything was normal until he came home one day and allegedly found her in bed with his 13-year-old son, her stepson. The scandal was so radioactive it was buried deeper than a canceled sitcom. They divorced quietly. No headlines, no tell-all. But Gloria didn't just move on, she waited. Fast forward a decade, the kid Tony Ray is 23, Gloria 37. And what do? Get married. In Mexico. In secret. That's right, she married her former stepson. The world only found out because of a child custody battle with another ex-husband. When the press discovered her fourth husband used to call her mom, jaws hit the floor and her career hit a wall. Hollywood had covered up many things. But Oscar winner shacks up with ex-stepson was a bridge too far. She was blacklisted, labeled everything from eccentric to morally unfit. But hey, love is love. Or maybe Freud was right all along. Either way, Gloria's taboo romance remains one of Tinseltown's most shocking plot twists. You couldn't write this stuff. Oh wait, someone already did. Number 11. Bing Crosby. White Christmas, black belt dad. To the world, Bing Crosby was the warm voice of Christmas, crooning by the fire, fatherly and festive. But behind that velvet baritone, a disciplinarian dad who could have doubled as a drill sergeant. According to his eldest son Gary, home with Bing wasn't jingle bells, it was hell's bells. In his memoir, Going My Own Way, Gary painted a bleak picture. Bing dished out brutal belt whippings, imposed joyless diets, and made growing up feel more like Marine boot camp than musical family fun. Two brothers backed up the abuse claims. One denied them. Bing's second family said he was a delight. So either he mellowed with age or finally read a parenting book. Meanwhile, the press and fans kept clinging to his choir boy image. No one wanted to believe America's favorite crooner could make his kids tremble at the dinner table. After Bing's death, the cracks in his perfect dad facade widened. Suddenly, White Christmas felt a little darker. Hollywood knew how to spin a myth, and Bing played along. But his first family lived a much harsher tune. Turns out, behind every joyful holiday classic, there might be a silent night no one dares talk about. Number 12. Jack Nicholson, Who's Your Mommy? Surprise. It's your sister. Jack Nicholson spent 37 years thinking his mom was his mom, and his sister was, well, his sister. Classic American family, right? Wrong. Try full-blown soap opera, no scripts required. In 1974, while prepping a Time magazine cover story, a reporter casually dropped a bomb. Hey Jack, your sister, June, she's actually your mother. And that sweet old lady who raised you, Grandma. Plot twist of the decade. Turns out June got pregnant at 18 in conservative 1930s New Jersey, not ideal for career goals or Sunday Mass. So the family pulled off a classic grandma raises the baby switcheroo. No one told Jack. Ever. By the time he found out, both mom and sis were dead. His response, total Nicholson. It's a pretty dramatic event, but it wasn't what I'd call traumatizing. Translation. Jack had seen worse, probably in a movie. He later joked it was worthy of a soap plot, and he wasn't wrong. If anyone else lived this, they'd be on Maury. Jack. He just kept cool, tossed on sunglasses, and moved on. Number 13. Bobby Darin, Splish Splash, You're My Mom. Bobby Darin had it all, a golden voice, matinee idol looks, and a family secret ripped straight from a telenovela. For 31 years, he believed his loving mother, Polly, was, well, his mother. And his older sister, Nina, just the cool sibling with great hair. Until, plot twist, a relative dropped a truth bomb that would make Jerry Springer blush. Polly was actually his grandmother. Nina, the sister, was his real mom, who'd gotten pregnant at 18 out of wedlock. Cue identity crisis and total emotional implosion. Bobby confronted the women, and they admitted it. The whole setup was to protect everyone from 1930s shame. The plan: raise Bobby as Polly's kid, pretend Nina was the fun big sis, and pray no one asked questions. It worked until it didn't. The revelation shook Bobby to his core. Friends say he was never the same. It's no coincidence his health spiraled soon after. He died at just 37, his heart broken figuratively and literally. Number 14. Ingrid Bergman, from America's sweetheart to Senate-certified instrument of evil. Ingrid Bergman had it all: grace, talent, and the power to make men cry in black and white. Then she went and did something unspeakable in 1950. She fell in love and got pregnant, out of wedlock, with a foreign director. Cue national meltdown. While filming Stromboli with Roberto Rossellini, Ingrid left her husband, got knocked up, and didn't apologize for a second. America, especially its pearl-clutching senators, lost it. One actually called her an instrument of evil on the Senate floor. Relax, fellas. It's not witchcraft, it's Europe. She was exiled from Hollywood faster than you can say illegitimate child. Banned from TV, dumped by fan clubs, and blacklisted like she'd committed war crimes instead of falling in love and having a baby. But plot twist, Ingrid didn't grovel. She stayed in Europe, married Rossellini, had 3 kids, and kept acting. 7 years later, she returned to Hollywood like a queen and snagged another Oscar, proving talent beats tabloid rage. Her real sin: living authentically in an era built on fake smiles and studio-approved morals. Bergman's exile wasn't the end. It was a mic drop. Number 15. Lon Chaney Sr., the man of 1,000 faces and one big secret. Lon Chaney terrified audiences as monsters, madmen, and masked phantoms, but his most haunting role was the one he never spoke about. Both of Chaney's parents were deaf. That's right, Hollywood's greatest silent film actor grew up communicating in total silence. Fluent in sign language by childhood, he learned to express everything: love, rage, heartbreak, without a single word. No acting coach needed. But Lon didn't advertise it. In early 1900s, America disability came with stigma, and he hid his family's truth even from his first wife, Cleva. That went super well until she met his parents and discovered the truth mid-dinner. Her reaction: a meltdown worthy of a silent scream, followed by an actual suicide attempt on stage during one of Chaney's performances. Mercury chloride and melodrama. Yikes. The scandal ruined his vaudeville gig, his marriage, and forced him to start over in Hollywood, where ironically, his background made him perfect for silent film. Lon kept his private life locked away tighter than Dracula's coffin. But the secret that once shamed him, it shaped the icon he became. Sometimes the silence says it all. Number 16. Vivien Leigh, Scarlett O'Hara's secret. Battle with the real drama queen, her mind. Vivien Leigh won an Oscar for playing the unstable, seductive Southern belle in Gone with the Wind. What audiences didn't know: off-screen, the drama was heartbreakingly real. Vivien battled bipolar disorder long before Hollywood knew how to spell mental health. One moment she was dazzling dinner guests with charm. The next, screaming at Laurence Olivier mid-rehearsal, then calmly sipping tea like nothing happened. Studios called it nervous strain. Friends called it terrifying. And Vivien, she called it nothing, because in 1940s, Hollywood admitting to mental illness was a career death sentence. She underwent electroshock therapy, the barbaric kind, lost major film roles, and still somehow delivered performances so magnetic it hurt to look away. While Scarlett O'Hara was fighting Yankees, Vivien was battling her own brain chemistry and losing. Her marriage to Olivier cracked under the weight. Friends tiptoed, doctors whispered, and still she smiled for the cameras, all lashes and diamonds masking the chaos within. She once said, "I've been quite sane all my life." That's what they all say just before the breakdown scene. Number 17, Clara Bow, the it girl with a horror movie childhood. Clara Bow had it charm, sex appeal, star power. But what she didn't have, a childhood anyone would envy. Before she became the roaring 1920s biggest star, Clara was just a poor Brooklyn girl living in a real-life horror film. Her mother was mentally ill and epileptic. Her father, allegedly abusive, and according to Clara, crossed every line a father shouldn't. At one point, her mother tried to kill her in her sleep with a butcher knife, whispering, "If I can't have you, no one will." Clara fought her off and locked her up. Years later, Daddy Dearest allegedly raped her. Then came Hollywood, and Clara ran like hell into the spotlight. The studios crafted a rags-to-riches fairy tale. Plucky Brooklyn tomboy wins magazine contest, becomes America's sweetheart. What they didn't mention, PTSD, nervous breakdowns, and enough trauma to fuel 10 Tennessee Williams plays. When Clara finally cracked, gossip columnists called her crazy and wild. But no one asked why the party girl cried when the music stopped. Her past only surfaced decades later, and suddenly the it girl looked less like a flapper and more like a survivor. Behind every jazz-age giggle was a scream she'd been trained to hide. Number 18. Gene Tierney, Hollywood beauty tragedy magnate and victim of a fan's hug. Gene Tierney had cheekbones carved by angels and a life story written by a cruel screenwriter. In 1943, she was pregnant at the peak of her stardom. Enter a fan who, despite being under quarantine for rubella, aka German measles, just had to meet Gene at a USO event. The result, Gene caught the virus. Her baby Daria was born severely disabled, blind, deaf, and developmentally impaired. All because of a handshake. Gene was devastated. Her marriage crumbled. Her guilt was relentless. And in true old-school Hollywood fashion, the studio hid it all. "She's taking time off," the papers said. "Right to weep in private and institutionalize her daughter for care she couldn't provide on her own." She spiraled into depression, endured brutal electroshock therapy, and became a walking cautionary tale dressed in Dior. But the irony, Agatha Christie wrote a mystery inspired by Gene's tragedy, and Gene even starred in the film adaptation without realizing it was about her. Hollywood gave her fame, but fate gave her a heartbreak so cruel not even the screen could soften it. In the end, Tierney survived, but her smile always seemed to hide something darker. And now you know what it was. Number 19. Marlon Brando, the godfather of family chaos. Marlon Brando didn't just break the rules of acting. He tore up the rulebook on parenting, lit it on fire, and then forgot where he left the ashes. Officially, he had 11 children. Unofficially, no one really knows, not even Marlon. Some came from wives, some from mistresses, some from his housekeeper. One was adopted. One born to a British actress was placed for adoption and never even met him. Brando's parenting style, out of sight, out of press release. But the drama wasn't just about head counts. In 1990, his son Christian shot and killed the boyfriend of Brando's daughter Cheyenne in Brando's house. Cue a tabloid frenzy and a courtroom saga that made The Godfather look like a Hallmark movie. Cheyenne later died by suicide, and Christian spiraled in and out of prison. Brando, once the most powerful actor in the world, was left clinging to privacy on his island paradise surrounded by chaos he helped create. He claimed to love his children. Maybe he did. But he also hid them, forgot some, and couldn't save the rest. Brando gave us iconic characters, tortured, brilliant, broken. Turns out the most tragic role he ever played was Dad. Number 20. Jerry Lewis, king of comedy, emperor of family denial. Jerry Lewis made the world laugh, just not his own children. Turns out, behind the pratfalls and rubber faces was a man with enough family secrets to fill a telethon. Start with Susan Minaret, the daughter he allegedly fathered during an affair in the 1950s. She looked just like him, begged for recognition, even took a DNA test that screamed, "Yep, that's your dad." Jerry's response: silence. Cold as a rejected punchline. Then there's Ronald, his adopted son from wife number one. Once the biological kids rolled in, Ronald apparently became invisible. Interviews, Jerry claimed he only had 5 sons. Ronald didn't even make the credits. Fast forward to Lewis's will, he left everything to his second wife and new kids. Susan zilch. Ronald. Not a dime. Even his biological sons got stiffed. You'd think the guy who sang "You'll Never Walk Alone" might have, I don't know, walked beside at least one of his kids.